Some apples are best for desserts, while others are great in salads, and some are meant to be just eaten right out of hand. But with so many varieties out there in the marketplace, almost 100 different commercially grown apples, it's hard to figure out which ones are best suited for what. But I've taken the guesswork out of all of it, and I've organized apples into two major categories. So within the firm category, there's two different distinctions: tart apples and sweet apples. A tart apple that we all know is the Granny Smith apple here. And Granny Smith, Rome, and Northern Spy are those tart firm apples, and they're really great to bake with. Now, to complement their tart flavor, it's good to introduce some of the sweeter firm apples whenever you're baking. So if you're making an apple pie, a mixture of apples is always great. And within this sweet category, we have Braeburn apples, Honey Crisp, Ginger Gold, Golden Delicious, Red Delicious, Jonah Gold, and Mutsu, which is also known as a Crispin apple. So these apples are great in many different baked goods, from pies to baked apples to tarts, things like that. They really do hold their texture up to heat, so they don't kind of melt away into nothing. Now, tender apples are really great on salads, to make applesauce. You can make cider out of them, or you can eat them right out of hand, actually. And within this category, again, there are two different classifications: tart and sweet. So within the tart category, you have the Empire, the Mcintosh, and the Cortland. And the sweet category, you have Gala and Fuji. Now, for a simple test that will show you how your apples will behave, if you take an assortment of apples, I have Granny Smith here, I have Honey Crisp, Mcintosh, and Fuji apple. So I'm gonna cover this with 2 damp paper towels, and what the paper towels do is they keep the moisture in so that the apples don't dry out. They actually kind of soften overall. And this goes into the microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll see how they'll end up if they were baked. So it's been about 3 minutes. You can see how the apples have cooked up here. Now, this is the Granny Smith apple, and I can actually pick it up. The apple itself, because of its structure, has maintained its shape. Now, this is the Honeycrisp apple, and it is also maintaining its shape. So these are 2 apples from the firm category. Now, from the tender category, we have the Mcintosh apple, and you can see it's starting to fall apart. It's very, very soft, and you can actually see it's falling apart here. And that's actually really great if you were using it for applesauce or something like that, because it is so tender. But if you were using it solo in an apple pie, you'd end up with kind of mush in the bottom of your pie shell. We have the Gala apple, and you can see that it hasn't really held its shape very well either in the baking process, and it's kind of mushy. So there you go. Tender apples, good for applesauce, good for salads, maybe eating out of hand, and firm apples are really what's great for baking. Don't be afraid to experiment with new varieties of apples that you may have never tried before. Try this simple test and you'll know whether they're good for baking, whether they're good for salads, or whether they're just good to eat right out of hand. Follow these simple guidelines, and choosing the best apple for the job will no longer be a kitchen conundrum.